Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about a habit that holds many of us back, blaming ourselves. It's an easy trap to fall into, but it's crucial to break free from it if we want to live a fulfilling and joyful life. Here's how you can start. Understanding and embracing self-compassion is fundamental to living a life free from the shackles of self-blame. At its core, self-compassion means treating yourself with the same kindness, concern, and support that you would offer to a good friend in times of struggle. It involves acknowledging your own humanity and the inevitability of making mistakes, rather than harshly judging yourself for them. Imagine a friend who has just faced a difficult situation or made an error. You would likely approach them with empathy, understanding that everyone makes mistakes. You might reassure them that they are still valued and that their mistakes do not define their worth. This same approach should be applied to yourself. By extending the same compassion to yourself, you create a nurturing internal environment that fosters growth and healing. Self-compassion requires you to recognize that you are not alone in your struggles. Everyone encounters challenges and makes mistakes. It's a universal part of the human experience. When you find yourself feeling down or blaming yourself for a misstep, remind yourself that this is a shared experience among all people. This perspective helps to reduce the feeling of isolation and can make self-forgiveness easier to achieve. It's also important to understand that self-compassion is not about excusing poor behavior or avoiding accountability. Rather, it's about approaching yourself with kindness when you fall short of your expectations. It involves acknowledging the error without letting it undermine your self-worth. Self-compassion encourages you to address mistakes with a balanced view, learning from them without descending into self-criticism. A practical way to cultivate self-compassion is through mindfulness. Mindfulness involves being present with your thoughts and feelings without judgment. When you experience negative emotions or thoughts about yourself, observe them with a gentle and accepting attitude. Recognize these thoughts as temporary and not reflective of your true self. By observing your inner experience with mindfulness, you can reduce the intensity of self-criticism and foster a more compassionate inner dialogue. Another aspect of self-compassion is self-care. Taking time to care for yourself, whether through relaxation, hobbies, or healthy habits, is a crucial element of treating yourself kindly. Self-care activities remind you of your worth and provide a counterbalance to the stress and demands of daily life. When you prioritize your own well-being, you reinforce the message that you deserve kindness and care, both from yourself and others. Incorporating self-compassion into your life also means challenging the inner critic that often fuels self-blame. This inner voice can be harsh and unforgiving, but by actively challenging and reframing negative self-talk, you can replace it with a more supportive and understanding inner narrative. For example, instead of thinking, "I always mess things up," try reframing it to, "I made a mistake, but I am capable of learning and improving." Ultimately, embracing self-compassion is a journey, not a destination. It requires practice and patience, but the rewards are profound. When you approach yourself with kindness and understanding, you build resilience and create a foundation for personal growth. You open yourself up to learning from experiences rather than being bogged down by self-reproach. By practicing self-compassion, you give yourself the space to grow, heal, and thrive, free from the limitations of self-blame. Shifting your focus can be a powerful strategy for overcoming challenges and moving past setbacks. When faced with difficulties, it's natural to dwell on what went wrong or to become consumed by negative emotions. However, by consciously redirecting your attention towards constructive aspects, you can transform these experiences into opportunities for growth and learning. Start by recognizing the tendency to fixate on the problem. It's easy to get caught in a loop of self-criticism or regret, especially when things don't go as planned. Acknowledge these feelings without judgment. It's okay to feel disappointed or frustrated, but it's essential to avoid letting these emotions dominate your perspective. Allow yourself to feel what you're feeling, but then make a deliberate choice to shift your focus. One effective way to shift your focus is to ask yourself what you can learn from the situation. Every challenge offers valuable lessons if you're open to discovering them. Instead of ruminating on the failure itself, consider what this experience can teach you about yourself, your actions, or your approach. For instance, if a project didn't turn out as expected, reflect on what you might do differently next time. What insights can you gain that will help you improve? This shift in perspective allows you to see setbacks not as dead ends, but as stepping stones on your path to success. Additionally, focus on the positives and successes in your life. It's easy to overlook your accomplishments when you're consumed by a single setback. Take stock of your achievements, however small they may seem, and celebrate them. Recognize the progress you've made and the skills you've developed. By acknowledging and appreciating your strengths, you can counterbalance the negative impact of challenges and build a more resilient mindset. Another approach is to set new goals and redirect your energy towards them. When you encounter a setback, it can be an opportunity to reassess your goals and aspirations. What do you want to achieve next? Use the experience as a catalyst for setting new objectives and devising a plan to reach them. This forward-looking focus can provide motivation and a sense of purpose, shifting your attention away from past disappointments and towards future possibilities. Engaging in positive self-talk is also crucial when shifting your focus. The way you speak to yourself can significantly impact your outlook. Replace self-critical or negative thoughts with affirmations and encouraging statements. For example, instead of thinking, "I failed, so I'm not good enough," try reframing it to, "I encountered a challenge, but I am capable of learning and growing from this experience." Positive self-talk helps to reinforce a constructive mindset and fosters resilience. Finally, practice gratitude as a means to shift your focus. Gratitude involves recognizing and appreciating the good things in your life, even during difficult times. By focusing on what you're grateful for, you can shift your attention away from what's not working and towards what is. Gratitude helps to create a more balanced perspective and can uplift your mood, making it easier to approach challenges with a more positive attitude. In summary, shifting your focus involves moving away from dwelling on problems and instead directing your attention towards learning, growth, and positivity. By recognizing the lessons in challenges, celebrating your successes, setting new goals, practicing positive self-talk, and cultivating gratitude, you can transform setbacks into opportunities and maintain a more constructive and hopeful outlook on life. Releasing perfectionism is a crucial step toward achieving personal growth and maintaining emotional well-being. Perfectionism often manifests as an unattainable standard that can create significant stress and self-doubt. It's important to recognize that perfection is an illusion and that striving for it can lead to dissatisfaction and frustration. Letting go of perfectionism allows you to embrace your humanity and approach challenges with a more balanced and compassionate mindset. To begin with, understand that perfectionism often stems from unrealistic expectations. We might set standards so high that they are virtually impossible to meet, setting ourselves up for inevitable disappointment. Recognize that striving for perfection can be counterproductive, and that it's okay to have imperfections. Acknowledge that everyone makes mistakes, and that these errors do not diminish your worth or capabilities. By accepting imperfection as a natural part of life, you can alleviate some of the pressure that perfectionism imposes. It's also helpful to shift your focus from outcomes to the process. Perfectionists often fixate on achieving a flawless result, which can overshadow the value of the journey. Emphasize the learning and growth that come from the process itself. When you concentrate on doing your best rather than achieving perfection, you can appreciate the effort you put in and the progress you make. This shift in focus helps to foster a sense of accomplishment and satisfaction, even if the final result isn't perfect. Another important aspect of releasing perfectionism is embracing a growth mindset. This mindset involves viewing challenges and mistakes as opportunities for development rather than as failures. By adopting a growth mindset, you allow yourself to learn from experiences and improve over time. Understand that growth comes from experimentation, learning and evolving, rather than from meeting an unattainable standard of perfection. This perspective encourages resilience and adaptability, which are essential for long-term success and well-being. It's also valuable to challenge the inner critic that often fuels perfectionism. This inner voice can be harsh and unforgiving, perpetuating the belief that anything less than perfect is unacceptable. Work on identifying and reframing negative self-talk. Replace self-critical thoughts with more supportive and realistic ones. For example, instead of thinking, "I must do this perfectly or I will fail," reframe it to, "I will do my best and that is enough." This change in internal dialogue can help to reduce the anxiety and pressure associated with perfectionism. Setting realistic and achievable goals is another effective strategy for releasing perfectionism. Instead of aiming for perfection, set goals that are challenging yet attainable. Break larger tasks into smaller, manageable steps and focus on making incremental progress. This approach allows you to celebrate small victories and builds confidence, which can counteract the unrealistic standards set by perfectionism. Additionally, practicing self-compassion is key to overcoming perfectionism. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a friend. Recognize that you are doing your best and that it's okay to have imperfections. Self-compassion involves acknowledging your efforts and being gentle with yourself when things don't go as planned. This nurturing approach helps to create a more positive and supportive internal environment. In conclusion, releasing perfectionism involves letting go of unrealistic standards, focusing on the process, embracing a growth mindset, challenging negative self-talk, setting realistic goals, and practicing self-compassion. By adopting these strategies, you can move beyond the constraints of perfectionism and foster a more balanced, fulfilling approach to your endeavors. This shift allows you to appreciate your efforts, learn from experiences, and embrace your inherent worth, imperfections and all. Forgiving yourself is an essential component of emotional well-being and personal growth. It involves letting go of guilt, regret, and self-reproach that often arise from mistakes or perceived failures. By embracing self-forgiveness, you release the hold that past errors have on your present and future, allowing yourself to move forward with a renewed sense of purpose and self-compassion. To begin with, recognize that everyone makes mistakes. It's a universal experience that does not define your worth or character. Understanding this fundamental truth can help you put your mistakes into perspective. When you forgive yourself, you acknowledge that you are human and that making errors is part of the learning process. This recognition is crucial in overcoming self-blame and allowing yourself to heal. Self-forgiveness also involves acknowledging the feelings of guilt or regret without letting them control your actions. It's important to confront these emotions honestly, rather than suppressing them or pretending they don't exist. By facing your feelings, you allow yourself to process them in a healthy way. This might involve reflecting on what went wrong, understanding why it happened, and considering how you can make amends or avoid similar issues in the future. Additionally, self-forgiveness requires you to let go of the idea that you must be perfect. Perfection is an unattainable standard that often leads to unnecessary self-criticism. Embrace the concept of being perfectly imperfect, recognizing that flaws and mistakes are a natural part of life. By accepting this, you can approach yourself with greater kindness and understanding, reducing the impact of guilt and self-blame. A practical step in self-forgiveness is to make amends where possible. If your actions have hurt someone else, take responsibility and offer a sincere apology. Making amends is not just about repairing relationships, but also about finding closure and peace for yourself. It demonstrates a commitment to growth and improvement, which can ease feelings of guilt and help you move forward. Another crucial aspect of self-forgiveness is reframing negative self-talk. Often self-blame is accompanied by harsh and unforgiving inner dialogue. Challenge these critical thoughts by replacing them with more compassionate and constructive affirmations. For example, instead of thinking, "I'm a failure because of this mistake," reframe it to, "I made a mistake, but I am learning and growing from this experience." Positive self-talk helps to foster a more supportive internal environment and encourages self-acceptance. It's also important to practice self-compassion throughout the process of forgiveness. Treat yourself with the same empathy and understanding that you would offer to a loved one. Remind yourself that you are worthy of forgiveness and that it's okay to be flawed. Self-compassion involves nurturing yourself through difficult times and acknowledging that you deserve kindness and understanding. Finally, forgive yourself for the time spent dwelling on past mistakes. Often the process of self-forgiveness takes time, and that's okay. Be patient with yourself as you navigate through your feelings. Understand that healing is a journey, and it's normal to have ups and downs along the way. Allow yourself to move at your own pace, knowing that each step forward is progress. In summary, forgiving yourself involves acknowledging your humanity, confronting feelings of guilt and regret, letting go of perfectionism, making amends, reframing negative self-talk, practicing self-compassion, and being patient with yourself. By embracing self-forgiveness, you free yourself from the burden of past mistakes, allowing yourself to grow, heal, and live with greater peace and self-acceptance. Affirming your worth is a vital practice for building self-esteem and fostering a positive self-image. It involves recognizing and embracing your inherent value and capabilities, regardless of external circumstances or past experiences. By affirming your worth, you reinforce a strong sense of self-belief and confidence, which can positively impact all areas of your life. Begin by acknowledging that your worth is intrinsic and not dependent on achievements, approval from others, or material possessions. Each person has inherent value simply by virtue of being human. This recognition helps to shift your focus away from external validations and towards a deeper, more meaningful understanding of your own value. It's important to internalize this idea, understanding that you are worthy of love, respect, and success just as you are. A powerful way to affirm your worth is through positive affirmations. These are statements that you repeat to yourself to reinforce positive beliefs about yourself. Craft affirmations that resonate with your personal values and goals. For instance, you might use statements like, "I am worthy of happiness and success," or "I am capable and deserving of achieving my dreams." Regularly repeating these affirmations helps to reprogram your subconscious mind, gradually replacing negative self-talk and self-doubt with a more positive self-view. Another effective strategy is to recognize and celebrate your achievements and strengths. Take time to reflect on your accomplishments, both big and small. Acknowledging your successes, no matter how minor they may seem, reinforces the belief that you are capable and deserving of recognition. Keep a journal where you record your achievements and positive feedback you receive from others. Reviewing these entries regularly can provide a tangible reminder of your worth and capabilities. It's also important to surround yourself with supportive and encouraging people. The company you keep can significantly influence your self-perception. Seek relationships with individuals who uplift and affirm you, rather than those who diminish your confidence or value. Positive social interactions and affirmations from others can reinforce your sense of worth and help you maintain a positive self-image. Additionally, practice self-care as a way of affirming your worth. Taking care of yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally demonstrates that you value and respect yourself. Engage in activities that promote your well-being, such as exercising, pursuing hobbies, or spending time with loved ones. Self-care practices reinforce the message that you are deserving of attention and care, further affirming your worth. Challenge and reframe negative self-beliefs. Often we carry internalized messages of inadequacy or unworthiness that influence how we see ourselves. Identify these negative beliefs and actively challenge them. Replace them with positive, affirming thoughts. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," counter that with, "I am valuable and capable, and I deserve to succeed." This practice helps to shift your mindset and reinforce a positive self-image. Finally, set and pursue goals that align with your values and aspirations. Working towards and achieving goals that are meaningful to you can enhance your sense of worth. As you make progress and reach milestones, you reinforce the belief that you are capable and deserving of success. Celebrate your achievements along the way and use them as affirmations of your worth. In summary, affirming your worth involves recognizing your intrinsic value, using positive affirmations, celebrating your achievements, surrounding yourself with supportive people, practicing self-care, challenging negative beliefs, and pursuing meaningful goals. By consistently engaging in these practices, you cultivate a strong sense of self-belief and confidence, enabling you to navigate life with a positive and empowered mindset. Taking responsibility instead of placing blame is a transformative approach that can lead to personal growth, healthier relationships, and more effective problem solving. It involves recognizing your role in a situation, understanding its impact, and focusing on constructive actions rather than engaging in self-reproach or fault-finding. At its core, taking responsibility means acknowledging your part in a situation without falling into the trap of blaming yourself or others. It requires a shift in mindset from focusing on who is at fault to understanding what can be learned and how things can be improved. When you take responsibility, you embrace the opportunity to grow and make positive changes, rather than getting stuck in a cycle of blame that can lead to frustration and stagnation. Start by examining the situation objectively. Look at the facts and determine what role you played in the outcome. This involves being honest with yourself about your actions, decisions, and their consequences. Avoid the tendency to externalize blame or to criticize others excessively. Instead, focus on what you can control and influence. This clarity allows you to address the root causes of issues rather than merely dealing with their symptoms. Taking responsibility also involves making amends where appropriate. If your actions have affected others, take steps to rectify the situation. This might include offering a sincere apology, making reparations, or changing your behavior to prevent similar issues in the future. Making amends demonstrates accountability and a commitment to improving relationships and situations. It also helps to rebuild trust and fosters a sense of integrity and respect. It's important to differentiate between responsibility and blame. Blame often involves assigning fault and can lead to feelings of guilt, shame, and defensiveness. It can also create a toxic environment where individuals are more focused on protecting themselves than on finding solutions. In contrast, responsibility is about ownership and proactive problem solving. When you take responsibility, you focus on what you can do to address the issue and make things better. Developing a growth mindset is crucial in this process. A growth mindset involves viewing challenges and mistakes as opportunities for learning and development, rather than as threats to your self-worth. Embrace the idea that making mistakes is a natural part of the learning process and that each mistake offers valuable lessons. This perspective allows you to approach situations with curiosity and resilience rather than with self-criticism or fear of failure. Another key aspect of taking responsibility is practicing self-compassion. Recognize that you are human and that everyone makes mistakes. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding when things don't go as planned. Self-compassion helps to mitigate feelings of blame and guilt, allowing you to address issues with a more balanced and constructive attitude. Focus on actionable steps to address the situation and prevent future problems. Instead of dwelling on what went wrong, identify specific actions you can take to rectify the current situation and improve future outcomes. Create a plan for implementing these actions and commit to following through. This proactive approach demonstrates a willingness to learn and grow, and it empowers you to make positive changes. In summary, taking responsibility instead of placing blame involves acknowledging your role in a situation, making amends where necessary, differentiating between responsibility and blame, adopting a growth mindset, practicing self-compassion, and focusing on actionable steps for improvement. By embracing responsibility, you foster personal growth, build stronger relationships, and create a more constructive and positive approach to challenges. This mindset shift empowers you to handle situations with integrity and resilience, leading to more effective and meaningful outcomes.